This week marked 5 years since COVID-19 was declared a pandemic. The effects of the pandemic, from long COVID to economic impact, are still being studied today. Here to break down the impact on small businesses is the Director of Small Business Success for Constant Contact. Dave, thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks, Katie. Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
So Constant Contact recently surveyed over 1,600 small businesses about that lasting impact from COVID. What were the main findings from this survey? What effect does this have on small businesses?
Yeah, so we saw some interesting things. And of course, as you mentioned, it's been 5 years since the pandemic. And of course, that brought a whole set of challenges to small businesses, financial strain, supply chain, mental and emotional toll, all of those things. And I think what we've seen and what small businesses that have made it through to the other side, we've seen time and time again that these are folks that are resilient, and they, felt sorry for themselves for a bit, but then they got to work and started to try to figure out what they could do to move forward. I also think an interesting thing happened during that period where many businesses that maybe weren't so keen on the shift to digital, really realized and saw the value in doing that. And so they, adapted to figure out how they could communicate with their customers and, offer virtual services, start to think about their businesses differently. And so many of the businesses that we've seen through this study that Constant Contact has done is really seen that these businesses kind of born out of this pandemic timeframe are really built through adversity. They're really resilient to begin with because they've come up in these, trying times, really. And so they're really focused on figuring out how they get to long-term success, and they have this growth mindset. And pretty much this entrepreneurial spirit is still very much alive. And 95% of the people that we talked to actually said if they were given the opportunity again, that they would still start their own business.
You mentioned that they are very resilient. Are there any challenges that they currently face as a result of the pandemic?
Yeah, absolutely. And we often look at these things from a marketing lens, of course, at Constant Contact. And when we look at the challenges that small businesses are going through right now, they're, acquiring new customers, retaining their current customers, and then really differentiating their product or services from the competition are some of the main challenges that they face. And when you start thinking about, well, what do I do, right? How do I start to overcome that? Well, what they're telling us is that they're looking to build stronger customer relationships, which is really important, of course, learning new marketing strategies and adopting new tools, but even leaning into technology like AI and automation to help them work more efficiently.
You mentioned some of the ways that these businesses have grown to adapt. Is there anything that these small businesses can keep in mind to be successful as they continue to grow despite these concerns?
Yeah, I think the big things here are really, and we've seen this time and time again from the customers that we've spoken with, it's really about building a strong foundation. You really need to stay grounded, focused on those business fundamentals as well as the marketing fundamentals, and really do stay focused on those customer relationships, because at the end of the day, it's through communicating with your customers and keeping top of mind and going through this journey with them that you're really able to grow and have people thinking of your business when it comes time for when they're looking to purchase something or are in need of your services. The other thing I would say is that even as we're seeing, things happen in terms of just, social channels, for example, we had things going on with the TikTok ban earlier in the year. It's really about diversifying your channels and not just relying on social media, for example. We see many of these businesses start there, but as they start to develop and grow, they realize that they need to also own that customer relationship. And that means thinking about channels like email or text marketing, for example, where you actually own that direct connection to the customer. And then really lean into leveraging that technology that exists there today. Time is one of the biggest factors for a small business owner, and things like AI and automation, these tools can really help you get more efficient and help you get back to doing those things that you would really prefer to be doing. And then I think just the big overall lesson here is really keep your eye on what's going on and stay adaptable, and really remain flexible in your strategies so that you can kind of pivot when you need to based on what's happening in the market.
We will be sure to have more of this information posted on our website. Director of Small Business Success for Constant Contact, Dave, thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks so much, Katie.
Now we'll take a live eye look outside, and Stevie will be right back with your full forecast.